All right, everybody. Pleasure having you back. This is now episode 47. Tequila Transactions here with my boy, Jerry Velasquez. Dude, we got something special today and really excited to talk about it. But first and foremost, I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to these folks, whoever's listening, whoever's out there peeping the show. So first and foremost, I want to give you the mic and let you introduce yourself, and I'm going to pour us a little shot. That sounds good to you?
Sounds good to me,
cool,
man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Jerry Velasquez with Rate Secure Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 17 years. And over here at Rate Secure, enjoying the direct lending part of things. It's been a while since I've been in something like this, so excited. It's a great place to pass on some savings. We're obviously rate secure, so we're very direct when it comes to rates, very low. So yeah, give me a call.
Awesome, brother. Well, we're going to talk a little tequila today.
All right.
We might venture off into young Jerry when you were starting off as a lender, possibly. You know?
Lots of tequila.
But more than anything, man, just appreciate you joining us on the show today. You know, definitely always try to bring some highly respected individuals in the industry.
Thank you.
Try to highlight them, obviously give them a chance to kind of showcase themselves, and at the end of the day, share a little tequila. So
yeah.
I know you said you're a whiskey guy.
Yeah.
So I think I picked out the right bottle today because we got one of my favorite brands right now, actually, Tequila Ocho, making big strides in the business right now. They're doing all kinds of collabs, all kinds of things, and they're just really big right now in tequila. Mm-hmm. And they're out of Arandas, which is in Los Altos de Jalisco. And so, yeah, this brand actually, they've been around for quite some time, but they've really started to get some fame these last few years because they're just doing really, really good tequila. And essentially, they're not adding a bunch of shit to it. It's not that Don Julio or those brands that, you know, adds a bunch of additives and has all that crap in it.
Yep.
So, really, really good brand. And honestly, just like I said, it's been something that I've enjoyed drinking these last couple of years. And this bottle's a little special. One of my clients gave this to me. Shout out to the Coriels. Appreciate you guys. My client, Albert's a huge tequila person. Him and his wife are huge tequila people, I should say. And they have a lot of fun collecting tequila and sharing it with people. So every time I'm over their house, I always get a bottle. Nice. And I always try to bring him a bottle to reciprocate the favor. But he actually got me this, and he's a fan of more high alcohol content tequilas. Yeah. So like Blancos or Jóvenes, stuff that really hasn't been aged too much. This one they actually collabed with a company out of Brooklyn, New York called Widow Jane. And so what they did is they aged their tequila in bourbon casks. And this one's interesting because this one is 48% alcohol content, which typically we're seeing from Mexico, like anywhere between 35 to 38% alcohol. So yeah, this one's gonna sting a little bit going down, but it's definitely super flavorful. So
it's gonna require a shave after.
It's definitely gonna put a little bit of extra hair on the chest, that's for sure. But I do have a little bit of sparkling water here in case you need to cleanse the palate per se. But yeah, something different, something that I really haven't brought onto the show. I'm a big Cristalino guy. People will talk a lot of shit about Cristalinos. People in this room talk a lot of shit about Cristalinos. But the Cristalinos for me is something that I enjoy drinking because it's extremely smooth. I like the taste of Cristalino, but people have a lot of mixed feelings about Cristalinos because you're essentially taking something that you've taken so long to develop and then filtering it out and creating a new quote-unquote style of tequila, which is a Cristalino, right? But for me, I've always been an añejo guy because I also like whiskey. I also like whiskey. I also like bourbon. So for me, I like that oakiness. You get a lot of oakiness in this with that high alcohol content. So I would say first, take a little smell of it. Let me know what you think. One thing I will recommend is try to get a little sip and hold it on your tongue.
Okay.
Breathe in through your nose while you have it in your mouth, and then swallow it while you're. So essentially, what you want to do is take a little sip. Actually, pardon me. You're going to breathe in through your nose first, kind of hold in that air. Take a little sip, let it hang out on your tongue for a little bit, get that flavoring.
All right.
and then you're going to swallow the tequila and exhale through your mouth. So essentially allow you to really kind of get all those flavors on your palate. So
okay. Smells delicious.
Super oakiness.
Yeah.
So salud, bro. Let me know what you think, man. This one's an interesting collab, so we'll see what you think.
It smells really good.
Okay.
That's good.
Oakiness,
really
super oaky. Nice and smooth, but you do get that high alcohol content.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't hurt on the way down at all.
No.
It's smooth.
Yeah.
That's delicious.
But I taste a lot of that barrel at the end.
There's a barrel and almost like a sweet hint at the end of that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like right at the tip of your tongue.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So
that's delicious.
Tequila Ocho Barrel Select is a selection of 8 tequilas from our most prized casks. For this expression, they use casks from our friends at Widow Jane located in Brooklyn, New York. These barrels previously held the very complex and rich Widow Jane 10-year-old bourbon. Before they were transported to Arandas to use to make this extraordinary añejo, marrying the finest aged tequila with heavy aromas and rich caramel.
There it is, the
baking, baking spice notes from these old barrels and bottled at 48% ABV for a further dash of intensity.
That's what I got on the tip of the tongue. That sweet, like it was like a caramel.
Yeah,
flavor, right?
And the good thing I read this after because it didn't influence what we were tasting, but definitely you have that definitely caramely taste right at the end there, which kind of like really kind of finishes off, which is awesome. But yeah, this is it was actually their master distiller is Carlos Camarena, and he's super well known in the tequila industry, and that's why I think for me Tequila Ocho's doing so well is because they have such great support.
Yep.
And they have a lot of people in their company that really cares about the process of making tequila, so that's why for me Tequila Ocho is probably one of my favorites, and then I have a couple more over there in the case. That Cascawin on the top left, fire, and then that bottom left, Fortaleza. Like people gotta give up kidneys to get those bottles. It's crazy because of the fact that even that brand has gotten so famous.
Yes.
To the point that like if you're not going to their distillery, you're not gonna find them. And something right now, a lot of the fear in Mexico is that a lot of the stuff is being counterfeited. Or they're taking old bottles and refilling it with crap.
Oh man!
So that's another thing to be careful about. But yeah, man, tequila has definitely come a long way, and there's so much.
Down there too.
Oh yeah, I got to get some decoration. I got a really nice Glass Azul bottle too, because I really love what they do as far as like they would pay homage to Mexican culture.
Yeah.
And every year they have a new bottle for the other little muertos and all kinds of stuff. So they do a really good job of carrying on the tradition of Mexico through their artwork and their bottles and stuff like that.
Their bottles are some of the most beautiful bottles out.
Yeah. I actually have their Ultra, which is a very expensive bottle, but that one I'm saving for my wedding day or a very, 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 very special day. But the wedding day, I think, is the day that bottle's going to be popped. But it is a bottle that is their extra añejo.
All right.
That's been aged for about 3 years, and then they put it in a bottle that was painted with platinum. So they use platinum metal to paint the bottle, and then the little cactus in the middle.
Yeah.
It's actual 925 silver. It's crazy. Yeah. So Glass Azul has some really crazy stuff. So.
Yeah.
I know when we walked in the door, you were like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a whiskey guy," but
no, I'm an everything alcohol guy.
Okay, cool.
Just want to clear the air.
Yeah, for sure.
Beer, sure.
Yeah. What do you think tequila's wise?
Tequila, I'm a big fan of obviously Glass Azul. My go-to every day, if I'm having a cocktail at home and I got to wake up and be with my kids, is Casamigos. Just because, as you get older, Ricky, tequila makes you feel funny the next morning.
Well, I think everything starts to make you feel a little funny the next morning as you age, right? So
I'm big on Casamigos, and I like their añejo.
Yes, I'm a fan too.
Or reposado.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Don Julio. the 70 bottle. That's a delicious one.
Yep.
That's my wife's favorite.
I got a couple of those.
She can drink it like water. Those are my main go-to. Younger days, Jerry was buying the cheap stuff. So a lot of.
I think we all were. We didn't know, right?
We didn't know. Just trying to get by and have a good time and deal with the side effects.
Whatever does the trick, right?
Yeah. But now as you get older, which and you have these beautiful bottles all over your house, you try to enjoy it, and it's more of not a good time thing, but more of a relaxation thing, and something that you can hang with friends and,
exactly,
have a conversation over, kind of like we're having.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that's the beauty of tequila, and I think that's always been, kind of what I envision tequila being, is something that is to be shared, you know? And that's why this whole show was created, was to bring people together during a time that was everyone was very separate during COVID. And so, this idea came came into fruition during COVID, where people were just sitting around, and, I seen a lot of people on doing Zoom calls or doing Wine Wednesdays or whatever. I'm like, Wine Wednesdays? Fuck that, I'm going to do Tequila Thursdays, right? Tequila Thursdays. And I started playing with the name, and then ended up just calling it Tequila Transactions, and then, just did one episode over Zoom, and then just kept, getting more people on, and it became a thing where every month I have to find somebody, and it wasn't hard to find people, because I obviously have made a lot of great relationships in this industry. So for me, always try to look for people who I highly respect, or people that are doing great things, or people who I feel like deserve a spotlight. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's not about selling myself on the show. It's more about having a good time. Sharing some tequila, having a conversation, talking a little bit about your business, and shedding some light on what you do, and hopefully someone will find you and want to work with you, and if not, at least they'll watch us drink tequila and
have a good time, right? Yeah. No, and
that's all it's about, So
and the feeling of respect is mutual.
Oh, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it.
Seen a lot of things you've been doing, and from when I found you about a little over a year ago, you're a great informative tool. That's what I would call you.
Oh, thank you.
In the kindest way. Your stories, and it kind of, as I see your stuff pop up, it kind of triggers something in my brain. So almost like influential a little bit towards me or to me. So I appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Because, as we all know in this world, having content, having different things, it's difficult. It is. It gets kind of cumbersome. But your stuff seems to always trigger something, and I have nothing but respect for you. So I appreciate the level of respect you have for me.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. No, likewise. And I would invite you over to my home to be having tequila if the feeling wasn't mutual. So for me, it's just really great to kind of be hanging out with you. And like I said, this is what this show is all about. It's just bringing together people and having a little fun at it, and plugging in our business and seeing if that brings us business, it bring us business. If it didn't, we had at least some fun and talked over some delicious tequila. And for me, the collection started from my dad's vision, and my dad taught me that tequila isn't to be it's not meant to be taken advantage of. It's meant to be enjoyed, and to be responsible, and make sure that if you're drinking tequila, you're enjoying it with people that you want to be around, and bringing people together. And ultimately for me, it's that's what I saw my uncles do, and my aunts and everyone when I was a kid. They had a good time. It was never like people got out of hand. It was more so them having a good time and having some tequilas. And it was always that kind of just that I would say that relationship and the camaraderie between everybody, and just kind of brought everybody together. And so I was like, well, you know what? Tequila always brings me joy and brings people together, and so why not, And so then, over the years, just started collecting more bottles and trying different things, and that was Dad's birthday and Christmas present every single year was a new bottle of tequila to add to the collection. And so for me, it's I started having my own collection. Now that I'm on my own and have my own place, for me, it's important for me to kind of have my own collection for that, that I can then share with others and have a little story behind it, or something like this, where a client gave it to me and it means something, and now we get to enjoy it together, because I was able to enjoy it with them, and then now they gift me a bottle to then enjoy it with somebody else. So it's kind of this ongoing circle of tequila gifting and enjoying and stuff like that. So it's just a lot of fun, to be honest with you.
It is a lot of fun. And, it's funny because when you get gifted things, it's kind of also a good way to figure out what you like. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Because it comes from somebody who's already tried it, who's already loved it.
Exactly.
So, as you were talking this thing up, I was like, I think I'm going to enjoy it. And it's, I think, the spirit of what tequila actually is, or any alcoholic beverage, is the camaraderie. It's not
for sure.
It's not meant to be taken advantage of, to your point, but to talk, to hang out, to drum up different ideas, right? As you sit there and relax with someone you like, respect, or enjoy being around. So
yeah, I mean, it brings out truth, honesty. Whatever you're talking business, or you're talking sports, or you're talking stories and reminiscing on things, like it's definitely something that has sparked the conversations and friendships and relationships and all that good stuff. So
that's awesome, man.
But yeah, definitely a very, very interesting taste, very interesting. I mean, the color itself, it has like this caramel yellow color to it. I think putting it up against the granite isn't the best, but it kind of has the color more of like a reposado. But
it does look like a reposado. And it's delicious.
And it's, it has, a lot of their añejos actually don't have a very dark color because they're not adding shit to it. A lot of people add the coloring.
Yep.
And that's why it looks so dark.
Maple-y.
It's not sucking all the color out of the barrel, you know what I mean? It's like these additives and stuff like that changes the complexity and the color and the taste and everything of it. But yeah, I mean, something like this is a lot more, essentially, it's more raw. It's more
raw. You can taste the pureness of it.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. It's not like, it doesn't taste like it's been altered, or like there's a bunch of different stuff in here. So in my opinion, it's something that's definitely meant to be sipped.
Yes. Because,
I think if you dilute it with a bunch of soda and stuff, it's just really going to take away from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is definitely something that I was, really looking forward to popping and enjoying, and so
I appreciate you sharing it with me.
Yeah, for sure, man. Now the listeners can be like, oh shit, if they want a little bit extra hair on their chest in their whiskey or bourbon, guys, this is the one right here for sure. So
it's good, trust me.
Oh yeah, it tastes way better.
You're getting more. I'm getting more caramel notes
for sure. Yeah. Like I said, I was telling you earlier, like I think usually the first one, it kind of really psychs you out because it's more powerful, like it has that punch.
Yeah.
But the second and third sip, honestly, have been much smoother. I'm getting a lot more sweetness now too.
I get there's a
little vanilla in there.
A little vanilla, but like a tone, like a undertone of bourbon to it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. From the barrel.
Definitely.
So if you like bourbon, this is going to be a good one.
This is the one for
it's
sure.
A good blend.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Well, we're gonna tap into why Jerry became a lender, and if you would share with us a little bit about your story and why lending, and anything you'd like to share with us. Obviously, you're good at what you do.
Thank you.
Because you've been around a while, and it takes a soldier to go through cycles, right?
Yeah.
And so usually when folks when they say they've been in the business for 15 plus years, I'm like, damn, you guys have seen some shit. You know what I mean?
Seen some cycles.
Yeah.
We've seen some pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so what got me into the business, truly, I was a banker, or a teller at Bank of America.
Okay.
When I graduated from high school. Knew I always wanted more, so I was going to school at the same time. And
this was in San Jose?
In San Jose.
Okay.
I grew up in San Jose, born and raised there. But essentially kind of went through the ranks of banking, became a personal banker. And at the time, that's when you can submit loans and pop them in. And I've always had a curiosity. So I was like 19, 20 submitting these loans. And I'm like, oh, man, like this is really cool. Like seeing the application, seeing, what it's doing. And at the end of the transaction, though I wasn't too much a part of it because I wasn't licensed technically or things like that, I was getting thank yous from the customers because they were in their house, they were enjoying their home. And then come 2008, 2009, you had that economic downturn. People were losing their homes. A lot of the people that were losing their homes were my people, right? My Hispanic people. And it bothered me, you know, growing up in a household with my mom and a single mom. We were Hispanic, and I was always taught to help everyone, but help those that are like you. You know what I mean? That you grew up here, and you're gonna navigate. You're gonna be able to know what to do right by them, so that they have a future here as well.
Right.
That was my mom's biggest thing with us.
Right.
And that's really what propelled me into doing it. So in 2008, 2009, my boss at the time took a chance on me. I was a young kid, didn't know how to stack a file, because back then you stacked files. You didn't submit online in PDF attachments like you do now. So submitted a file, or got hired. Started at Wells Fargo, was there for years. Then navigated to a different bank. But really, that's what propelled me into mortgage, was just helping my people, because I got a lot. I was seeing a lot of my my Hispanos coming in. Why is my payment going from this to this, and losing their homes and being part of that downturn? So one of the things I take pride in is making sure that everyone's taken care of the right way. People come to me, and I think that's what creates longevity in the business.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you're not going to be known for someone that does a good job necessarily. You're going to be known right away if you've done a bad job, or if you've done somebody wrong.
Tell me about it. And then they're going to go tell everybody how bad of a job you did.
And you're in the network, so right? Whispers start going, and so try to do right by everybody. And that's again what propelled me to do what I do, which is why I do it. I can wake up in the morning knowing I'm doing an honest job for people. I can't tell you how many countless deals I've saved. How many countless customers I've saved from getting into something they don't belong in, wasting money, being taken advantage of. So that's what drives me. That was one of my main drivers. Now, it's that, and I have two beautiful girls, so mouths to feed, little leeches that need money. So that's my continuing drive. That's really just essentially, in a nutshell, what has pushed me into it and what continues to push me. At the end of the day, when I'm done doing this, because I don't plan on going anywhere, I want people to look back on the fact that Jerry always did right by them. And at the end of the day, Jerry helped me change my life, because I do believe that owning a home is generational wealth.
100%.
It's one of the main ways to create generational wealth.
100%,
whether it's paying for college, whether it's selling your house, or you pass the house on to your kids, let them do what they need with the money. So that's a little bit about me and me being in the business.
Well, cheers to that, bro, because honestly, me and you share a lot of that, and I'll tell you a little story about why exactly.
Sorry, I don't mean to drink this like it's water, but it's it's good.
That's what it's for, bro.
Yeah.
Drink as you wish.
Got it.
Drink as you wish. Hey, you know what? Put the shot glass right here just in case.
I'm a lush.
But no, I mean, I resonate that with 100%. Like, when you're talking about that, I'm like, dude, our paths are a little different, because obviously, as you were living and working in that crisis, I was studying in college and understanding what was going on during the housing crisis, and actually seeing firsthand family members lose their homes. And for me, as a young kid, I grew up very much involved in real estate, not knowing that my parents were actually the owners of the real estate that I was essentially, they were getting free child labor out of, you know what I mean? Dad was like, all right, you good at school? Like, you did your homework and everything? Cool. All right, cool. You're coming with me. We're going to go change toilets. We're going to come with me. We're going to go sweep some stairs, and you're going to sweep the carports, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. I'm like, damn, dude. It's like, I already have to do chores at home.
Yeah.
Now I got to do chores at these buildings that you work at, too. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, all my life, I had no idea my parents owned these buildings, and there I was going, and I knew how to change a toilet at like age 12. I knew how to do everything. Like, I literally would go there, and my dad would be like, hand me the pinzas, hand me this, hand me that, like literally, like, oh, give me the plumber's tape, give me this, and I'm like over there like being his like little apprentice, right? And then later to find out that my parents owned the buildings, and I'm the oldest of three. and probably the only one that took interest in the family business. So for me, it's like I've always been involved since I was a young kid, and literally my responsibilities grew as I became older. And my mom speaks really good English, but she was not very educated in matters of business, and she learned as she went. So I helped her a lot as well, and was literally creating spreadsheets as quick as I had Excel when, you know, I had my Macintosh computer or whatever, you know, or when I had my first Dell or whatever it was that we had when we were kids. But like, yeah, man, it was just crazy to see, you know, my parents have that sort of that involvement early on, and being Latinos and and I'm first generation. You know, my mom was born here, but she grew up all her life in Mexico. So her story's a little bit different. But my dad, like literally, she brought when they got married, she brought my dad over, and then, you know, if it wasn't for an uncle of mine pushing my parents to become homeowners and become property owners, I don't think they would. And I think everybody needs that in their family, or needs that sort of guidance. Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's the number one way to create generational wealth. And Latinos are so far behind because we haven't been here as long as the other Americans have.
Yep.
And, you know, we're just as much American as they are. And now it's our time to get a piece of the pie. And that's why, for me, I very much got in this business because of that same thing. Because of the fact that although my parents had the money, they could pretty much buy what they wanted to. They were qualified, but they weren't treated that way. They were treated as if their money wasn't green. And I didn't fucking appreciate it growing up. And I saw that people were only worried about the deal and not worried about my parents or the property they were buying. They were much more worried about the deal, making sure the deal happened so they could get paid. And for me, that was the biggest turnoff. And then seeing a lot of my uncles lose their homes. And when I went to college, I was really much focused in business and finance. Finance was my strongest major for me. It was my strongest subject. I really liked math, and it coincided with me and finance. Were like, I figured I was going to be crunching numbers at Merrill Lynch or something. You know what I mean? So I always thought I was going to have a desk job and stuff like that. And it wasn't until my dad was like, "Hey, dude, we really need a realtor in the family." Yeah, I was like, "Man, I don't fucking like realtors. Yeah. They're fucking sleazy. They're like car salesmen. Like, I don't want to be a realtor. Like, all the realtors that I've met throughout all the years of helping you guys do business, they're all fucking shitty." You know what I mean? And, you know, just for me, it's like, if I was going to be a realtor, like I told my dad, if I'm going to be a realtor, I'm going to do it the best way I know how. And that's to help people the right way and treat them the way they should be treated. And that's the way I came into this industry, was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to treat people the way if I was sitting across the table from them, sitting right next to them. So I would say like a good 70% of my clients to 80, maybe even 80% are Latinos. So for me, it resonates with me a lot. Yeah. I always take the time to listen, because you don't know. Just because someone doesn't look like they can buy a home doesn't mean they can't. And so I always take that with me, and I get emotional about it, because I just remember, you know, someone asking my dad, "Well, can you afford this?" And I'm in the back room or chilling in the office. I'm like, "What do you mean you fucking afford this? Yeah. What you mean? Like, we own a 20-unit apartment building. What do you mean can we afford this?" And they're sitting in a home that essentially my dad remodeled completely, again with free child labor for my brother and I. Yep. But like,
yeah, he had a plan and he executed.
Yeah, and so like, you know, like they weren't sitting in a shitty home. Like my dad always made sure we had nice things, and he worked his ass off to make sure we had nice things. But that was the thing too, was that, you know, he was really focused. My dad was really focused on teaching us to be humble. Yeah. And teaching us the value of hard work, and teaching us that real estate was the way to build wealth, and that's how he was doing it. And so he really instilled that on me. I'm the only one that pretty much listened, but he really pushed me to go into the industry and do it for the right purpose. So.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. It's the right purpose.
Yeah.
It's to do right by everyone.
Right.
You know, that's the motto. Really, you wake up every day, and you live with your actions, you're good, you know?
Yeah.
So, good on you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I go to sleep at night really, really happy and content. I like I said, I always do right by people. I never try to do anything that's going to keep me up at night, because again, like, this industry is small. People don't think that. And we talked about relationships earlier. It's a very much relationship-based business. Yep. And you do wrong by somebody, it's going to carry further than if you did right by somebody. So I 100% agree with you. So it's about, just like we talked about, and ultimately that, in my eyes, I'm always going to work with the people who I want to work with, because they're always going to gravitate towards me, because my clients are going to tell them how great of a job I did, and like-minded people are going to come work with me.
Yep.
And I'm cool with that. I want to help more people that maybe weren't taken seriously, or people that don't look like they can afford a home. Then that's totally fine with me, because everybody deserves a shot at the American dream. Everybody deserves the ability to purchase a home. Doesn't matter what it is, you know what I mean? Not every home is going to be your dream home, but I believe everybody should have an equal opportunity to purchase a home.
Agreed.
So
yeah. No.
And that's why, for me too, I'm really heavily involved in an organization like NORA, because we advocate for the consumer. We advocate for home ownership and being able to teach the consumer. And I think that's extremely important as well, because for my family, if it wasn't for my uncle really teaching everybody and pushing everybody, we wouldn't be where we're at. And like I mentioned to you earlier, I feel like everybody should have that internal kind of voice in their family, but not everybody does.
No.
And for me, it's really important that I'm able to create that impact in some communities that don't really have that.
Well, it's all about education, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, how many times have you seen where I've seen it a lot because I'm on the lending side, but you go and you educate somebody and they're like, whoa, I'm here, I can actually do it. Yes,
yeah.
You can do it.
Exactly.
Or I didn't know I needed that. I got to work on that. Like, cool. Let's touch base.
Exactly.
So
I agree, man. It's definitely all about education. It's about giving people the space, to and then encouraging them to understand that it's attainable.
Yeah.
It's attainable. There's so many programs out there. There's down payment assistance. There's, you name it. There's a program out there for you, most likely. So
10% down,
exactly,
20% down, 5% down.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you're independent contractor and you don't really have taxes to show, right? When you go off your bank statements, there's all kinds of loans like that too. So it's like there's options for you. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the best option for you, but at the end of the day, at least it gives you an opportunity. And if not, then people like yourself are going to be willing to take the time to listen and help those clients out. That
exactly.
Yeah,
it's about the foot in the door.
100%. I agree, man.
I took my sip. I'm sorry.
Doug. Yeah, man. It gets better every single time.
No, I'm not, it does.
It gets better every single time. Well, any last thoughts? Anything else you'd like to leave the folks with? Anything that you want to?
Let's see. Hablo español.
There you go. Bam. That's the tequila talking.
That's the tequila talking for sure. Yeah. All of a sudden, hablo español. No, I think at the end of the day, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you.
Of course.
Like I said, the respect is mutual. And at the end of the day, if someone has any loan questions, has anything they've been turned away for, reach out. Rate Secure has something for you.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy we were able to do this. I'm happy it all came to fruition, and now the only thing left to do is sip on the bottle, man.
Enjoy some more tequila.
Last thing, where do people find you? I know that you're on that Instagram and stuff like that, and if you want to plug the website or whatever, phone number, whatever it is. I know you plugged your phone number earlier. I don't know.
Did I?
I don't know if you did, but you should.
Jerry Velasquez, 408-391-3036, and you can find me on Instagram at Jerry Velasquez Home Loans, and ratesecure.com/Jerry Velasquez as well.
Bam, there you go. All right, brother. Well, appreciate you once again.
Thank you
for jumping on the show. And yeah, that was a Tequila Transactions episode 47.
Yeah.
And I think that's a wrap, man.
Yeah,
doesn't mean you got to go.
No, well,
we still got a little bottle to drink. So
I don't think I'm leaving yet. By the way,
awesome,
you're welcome.
Awesome, brother. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Peace.